There is this interview series called Buddha at the Gas Pump that I've been enjoying lately, and I've even been digging into the archives when they first began, and when the interview series looked a lot differently than I believe he's doing now. I actually haven't gotten as far as the newer ones yet. I'm looking through the archives. I like to do that. I like to start at the beginning. But I listened to an interview by a woman named Sue Berkey, and something she said really resonated with me. And she said something to the effect that I don't care what it is you're doing, show me your love. I don't care how you got there. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you read. Show me your love. And I agree with that. And I think that's a good way to look at the world as we're interacting with people and making judgments about people, or hopefully not making too many judgments. There is a parable that says something like, a good fountain only brings forth good water. A bitter fountain only brings forth bitter water. A good tree only brings forth good fruit. A bitter tree brings forth bitter fruit. And if you have a good fountain, it cannot bring forth bitter water. If you have a bitter fountain, it cannot bring forth good water. And most people, in my opinion, think about this backwards. They try to figure out whether or not the fountain is good or bitter. They try to make that judgment at that position. Like, is this a good? And they think about it all the way through. Okay, I think this is a good fountain. Therefore, everything that comes from it is good, no matter what it is. I've made up my mind that this is a bitter fountain. Therefore, no matter what comes from it is gotta be bitter, bad stuff. I'm not going to be drinking out of this fountain. To me, it's the other way around. You look at what's coming from it. Is it good? Is good coming from this? Is love coming from this? Is integrity coming from this? If it is, it's a good fountain, and it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what you named it, what the label you put on it. It doesn't mean you have to do that. You probably got your own groove, right? But you don't have to sit there and be upset or angry or afraid or be fighting against the good things you see, because if you've already decided something's a bitter fountain, and then you see them being loving or kind, or if you see them standing up for themselves, or you see them wanting their freedom, and you're like, you shouldn't be even wanting your freedom because you're a bitter fountain, or whatever label you put on somebody, you won't be able to see clearly, because you'll only see bitter fountain, because that's where you judged from. So judge from the other direction, or don't judge at all. But so look for the love, look for the freedom, and not everybody, of course, has a lot of love to give, because some people are just struggling to wake up, that, and so I think we need to give people the benefit of the doubt, even if they aren't on their best behavior. So I'm not saying that, but and the reason, people say, well, there's just one way, and I'm like, and I would like to say that there is just one way. That way is love. That way is integrity. That way is freedom. That way is peace. Those things are their own ways. There's not a way to love. There's just love. Now, if you need help with some kind of path, which we probably all need a little of to get to love, practice a little bit something here, practice a little bit something there. Yeah, sure, there's lots of things that we can do to get there. And it's natural to want to share something that works for us with people that we care about, or with the whole world. I don't have a problem with people sharing. I don't even, I like to hear where people are coming from. I like to hear what works for them. And sometimes I adopt something I've heard, and sometimes I'm like, I'm not right. That's just not going to go with where I'm going. And maybe I'll pick it up later. Maybe something I'm doing now I'll get rid of later. It just, because my life, life changes and I change. So I don't have a problem with people sharing what they think is the right way. But just recognize that everybody's going to make their own decisions. Everybody's going to live a very unique life with very unique experiences, and that's the way it's supposed to be. I mean, if we, the old saying, if we all thought the same or if we all believed the same, there'd only need to be one of us. The whole point of the fact that there are billions and billions of people is so that there can be all kinds of differences and that we can know one another and enjoy that part of it. And so trust people with their own path and trust yourself with yours. And I'd like to invite you to find some life-filled path so that you don't have to hurt anymore, you don't have to be afraid anymore. But I'm not going to worry about how people, in fact, I find it very, I just find it heartening. Like if I meet someone and, I come from a certain tradition, I come from certain ideas and things, like a lot of I started out in Christianity and I'm still kind of there, but I've added lots of things to that. That's my path. I like to bring in more things. I like more vegetables in my salad. I don't want to just eat lettuce. I want a very healthy salad with lots of variety because I think that's healthy. So that's me. But when I meet someone who has a very different pathway, quite often we can meet somewhere and be talking about the same things. And I think it's fascinating that they got to the same place that I did in a little bit different way, because the ending for all good fountains is that love, is that union, is that peace. So I think that's exciting. And so I invite you to think about those things as you're out there. Maybe let go of the labeling people stuff. Maybe don't do that so much. And just think of everybody as a human being with their, they were born in a certain place, had certain experiences. And if we can just all get to the love and peace, then that's all I'm asking for. And if we're not even there yet, if we're angry, if you're angry and hurt, it's okay to be there too. Hopefully there'll be people around you who'll be gentle with you until you can be at peace. Talk to you later.